Hello, hello, and welcome to my week ahead report of the 20th to the 26th of May, 2024. And oh my God, we have got a week that has got so many big, juicy aspects and so much goodness. I've got like so many pieces of paper here to remind me of all the things that are happening. So let's just get straight into it, and I will share my screen. All right. So here we are, Monday, the 20th of May, and we are at the last degree of the sun in Taurus. All right. So the sun has just come off its big juicy conjunction to Jupiter, which was Sunday at 4 a.m. or around 4 a.m. So we've got that Jupiterian blessing happening. And with both of those big guys, like the sun, the center of our galaxy, at the 29th degree, that anaretic degree of Taurus, it's asking us to have a look back at the last month and cement in or concrete in place the understandings that we have gained in that time. So, this is not just what we've learned in the last month, but that Jupiter conjunction also made that learning that much bigger. So we're looking at things like finances, comfort and security, self-worth, value, knowing with Venus there and Uranus there and Mercury there, we are going through massive changes. And the beauty of Venus being there is that we know that we are worth it. All right. Mercury's now there and he has calmed down a bit. He gets to sit down and have a look at all of the stuff that he's done while he was in Aries, that retrograde cycle. It's just been so many weeks of Mercury, our thoughts being rush, 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 rush. So now, while we're allowing ourselves to stop and reflect for a minute before the sun moves into Gemini and sort of picks up speed mentally. But anyway, I'll get that in a minute. But yeah, so just take a minute to relax, allow that stress response to just go away. Take a minute to have a cup of tea and a muffin if you need to. Good old Taurian words there. And just, yeah, allow yourself to honor the things you've learned. And also this moon in Libra, so this is still Monday morning, just off that south node, to find balance with what you understand and let the things go that no longer serve you. All right, so this is a beautiful, beautiful time. All right, so the sun is also sextile Neptune. So and it's coming up into that trine with Pluto. So there are some truths coming up from the surface. The trine to Pluto is on Wednesday. But that sun sextile Neptune, if we can sit down and find our center, it's very much a spiritual perspective. The cogs are turning, there's that sextile aspect. And so, just, with the learning, connect it to, that spiritual perspective of karma and, life lessons, the things we get to leave behind and move on from. Okay, so now we still have this, we still have Mars in the North Node, both at 14 degrees. And so this is just giving us that extra push and that drive to continue, even though we're learning still, to continue just inching forward bit by bit. Well, I mean, it's Mars. He doesn't want to inch anywhere. He just wants to run. But with everything in Taurus, we are being strategic. We're planning for success. All right. We're planning for comfort. We're planning so that we don't forget things as well. All right. So, I mean, Mars can just push, put his foot on the accelerator and keep on going. But no, we need to bring this down a bit, calm down our adrenals, and just choose some cud while we still can. All right. Let's move forward to tomorrow being Tuesday. All right. So Tuesday, the moon moves into Scorpio at 8:34 a.m. All right. So there's a few other things happening. All right. So straight away in the morning, we've got the moon in conjunct the sun. All right. So this is unusual because we have the moon, our emotional state, going into a really deep place at the same time that the sun moves into Gemini, which is our thoughts and our communication. So we're habitating in a cognitive realm, yet our emotional state is very, very deep. It's down there looking into all those cupboards where we shut stuff away. So this could be a day where some sort of secret gets exposed. We also have this Sun trine Pluto, and Pluto rules our urges and shows us things that need to be dealt with because it's a trine, all right? So it's a harmonious aspect. So don't shy away from the things that come your way today. All right. So something could get exposed or a new understanding that causes a complete shift in your mindset. Sit with it for a little while, and it might just be the major plot twist that you were waiting for to kickstart things in a new direction. Again, the moon is now in Mars's sign, and Mars is now past the North Node. All right. So we know where we're going, but it's now coming up to Hygeia. Are we doing it effectively in a way that allows us to continue the journey? Or are we just, again, rushing so fast that we're getting adrenal fatigue? So this might be where we stop and have a good think. All right. So we stop and ask ourselves, are we in good form? Are we doing the right things for ourselves? All right. We want this to be a long journey. We want this to be the marathon, not the sprint. All right, so we can implement actions that are going to suit our physical self a lot better. All right, so there's things, we're seeing things differently. Okay. So yeah, you're in a position now where you must really look at your own actions and direction. No one except for yourself can tell you what is going to make you feel fulfilled. No one can tell you what those things are deep down that need to be dealt with, but today might show you a whole lot of stuff. So just remain strong within yourself and just continue to keep on keeping on. All right. So there was nothing else for Tuesday that I wanted to say. So let's go to Wednesday. All right. So Wednesday, we still have the Scorpio moon. But today we have that Sun trine Pluto at 8:50 a.m. So just doesn't actually look it. Anyway, I've said Wednesday 8:50. That might be wrong. Forgive me. But is it possible to be in your head and way down in the depths of your soul? You better believe it, especially today. All right. So emotionally, we're in that shadowy place. We could be reminded of some of our old crisis, trauma, depth type emotions. But it's okay because Pluto is also the Lord of transformation, all right? So we're transforming that understanding about our comfort and security, all right? So Jupiter and the Sun are still connected. They're only degrees away. The Sun is on the other side, so we have gone into our thoughts, but Jupiter still holds that place of, what are my needs? And again, with that, you are the only one that can answer this question. So a lot of soul searching this week, but again, there's lots of brilliant aha moments and understandings coming your way. All right, so explore those sensitive topics and just ground yourself as much as you can. All right, so let's move on to Thursday. Actually, was there anything else? There might be a little bit of tension. All right, so sorry, I'm still on Wednesday. So there might be a little bit of tension around during the mid to afternoon times where the moon is going to be in conjunct that Mars Hygeia. All right, so we might come to some sort of understanding that we haven't been doing something efficiently, or we've been doing it because we've been trying to shadow something else. So again, with the revelations that Pluto brings up, get comfortable. And then we've just had a lot of Uranian action. So we did have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. All right. So it's still in that realm of, I really want to be nice and calm, but the sun's now in Gemini and, that trine to Pluto and the moon in Scorpio. All right, so now I will move on to Thursday. All right. Actually, so the first half of the day on Thursday, the moon is going to move into Sagittarius at 6:24 p.m. and the full moon is at 11:51 p.m. All right, so for most of the day, we have the moon in Scorpio. So we're still going to be exploring those deeper realms and trying to make sense of the things that we find there. All right. So the moon is going to be opposing Venus and at 5 p.m. So that Venus Jupiter is in opposition at 5 p.m. So that could look like some deep understandings coming your way around that 5 p.m. But then at 5:30, that trine between the moon and Neptune comes in. So the understandings might actually, they might actually sink into somewhere where we can make the connections that we're always looking for in a spiritual sense. That's the point of, lifetime to level up. How can we make sense of the things that happen to us so that we can learn those lessons and continue on our karmic path forward? All right, so that was that 5:30 mark. Now Venus is sextile Neptune at 8:30 p.m. All right, so this is Thursday night. So you can bask in those romantic vibes, but just be careful that there could be too much of a good thing. So be aware to take the rose-colored glasses off. There is still some depth, so we don't want to totally romanticize crisis. Right? I don't feel like it's too crisis orientated. Could be prickly, but I just think, that's more of the. All right. So, and remember, I'm just going to go forward to the full moon, which is at 11:50 p.m., like I said, that when is that 2 degrees Sag? When we come from Scorpio, we're in those depths and we come up into Sag and we have that moment, it's that realization, it's that heightened spiritual sense, it's that understanding, it's that knowledge and the adventure that is life. All right. So this one is the full moon of our higher understanding and spiritual growth. Yet we are securely grounded in reality, all right? Because Jupiter, the ruling that moon, is still in Taurus, holding hands beautifully there with Venus. So we know that we are going to be supported by the realizations that we come up with. And, we are completely worth all of the good things that are coming our way. All right. So by the time the full moon comes around, we have likely to have mastered our thoughts and giving them some deep meaning, and we could desire to escape to distant shores, which is definitely a Sagittarian moon. So get outside and have a look at the full moon if you can. It is late. It's going to be gorgeous. And see what insights the moon gives you, I mean, the moon, the full moon is where we are made aware of things that we are allowed to release. Again, we're coming up out of Scorpio, which could have been a little bit feely, into this, I get it. I get it. And again, that Jupiter, Venus, beautiful holding hands there, grounding us into a sense of loving, supported reality. All right. So, all right, let's move forward to Friday. Friday. Oh, no, that's just hours. Hang on. And there we go. Oh, no, missed it completely. All right, 9 o'clock. Okay, so Friday. Today is interesting. Let me just find Friday here. Okay, so 6:30 a.m. Venus moves into Gemini. All right, so Venus is going to get her flirt on. She wants to get out, have some fun. She's social and curious. And she's been sitting down, getting comfortable for long enough. She's like, no, I need to get out, I need to ask questions, I need to talk with people. However, she is being ruled by that Mercury still in Taurus. So the questions we're asking and the curiosity that we're looking and the social interactions are still comfortable. She doesn't want to go too far. She doesn't want to go for a run yet. Well, she might. She might, but I don't think so. I think she's still quite comfortable to stay close to home and just wake up a little bit. Whenever there's a planet moving into a different sign or a planet coming out of retrograde, we got to give it a minute to wake up a little bit. So for the first 2 weeks of the sun in Gemini, it's being ruled by Mercury in Taurus. And then for the second 2 weeks of both of these things, we have Mercury in Gemini. So keep those keep that energy curious, but grounded and logical. All right. So there's lots and lots to consider. What else was there for Friday? Yeah, so actually, so for Friday, I felt like we were getting woken up with a push to move into a certain direction. Um, that is also the Jupiter sextile Neptune, which is at 7:45 a.m. And I have been looking at this transit for the longest time. So it's all about things starting to make sense. You've been seeing the connections form, and these two giants being being Jupiter sextile Neptune, they want the best for us. They want more. They want us to have the most out of life that we can. So go with your internal flow, and maybe you could be looking at art or music or, more of those feely flows, more of the fun things in life. So feel the spirit grow in you and just go with the flow. It's a great day. All right. So anything else? Um, mm, mm, mm. No, let's move forward to Saturday. All right, so Saturday, oh, this is a wonderful day. All right, so all right, so Venus does trine Pluto, all right? That is at 9:15 p.m. Okay, so you know what you've got to do. You've got to get your thoughts in order. Venus is now in her mind, all right, and start implementing the strategies. Mercury is in Taurus of all of the ideas and understandings that you came up with while Venus was in Taurus. Okay, so we are doing financial planning for future endeavors. There's that Pluto in Aquarius, the transformation, the money of the future as well. And actually maybe even stopping a financial leak that you might find some sort of strategy to do a better budget or something financial that is about transformation. All right, so there's a whole lot of stuff. I'll talk about this more while Venus is in Gemini. And yeah, so now in the words I wrote, I feel like this Saturday is like when the hero, if you know anything about Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, I love that. And I utilize that understanding in the work that I do so often, because every trial we have is its own hero's journey. All right. So this Saturday feels like the hero emerging from his ordeal. All right, he's gone through Scorpio, he's gone through this month, he's gone through Taurus, he's coming out, he's in his mind, and he is wiser from the challenge and more aware of his position in the grand scheme of things. So take a moment to acknowledge your triumphs. Sagittarius is that higher level learning, spirituality, the acknowledgement of the knowledge that you do hold. It's Jupiter. Jupiter is grounded and logical and it's full of self-worth. All right. So this is a beautiful, beautiful day. So what else was there? There is Mercury in conjunct the South Node. All right. So which is this one here, Mercury in conjunct the South Node. And I like this one because it's another opportunity for us to rationally look at our thoughts and let shit go. Okay, so even now the South Node is being ruled by Venus in Gemini. All right, so we're in this thinky place. All right, so allow those logical understandings to be the things that you think and release. And of course, with the Sun in Gemini and Venus in Gemini now, writing, publishing, have a notebook and pen as close to you as you can all the time, because we're going to have those brilliant flashes of insight that come from the Sagittarian moon, that come from Pluto itself bringing stuff up, that spiritual connection that we have with Jupiter and Neptune. All right, so again, write everything down. Okay, I think that's enough for Saturday. All right, and finally, let's move forward to Sunday. All right, so the moon goes into Capricorn at 1:36 a.m. and this is Tassie time. All right, so now that's 1:36. Now at 9:15 a.m., Jupiter moves into Gemini. Let me just move forward a couple of minutes. There he is. Jupiter is now in Gemini, and that is just awesome. All right, because now we have Jupiter in the place of our mind, curiosity, mental flow, communication, social activities, things to focus on. One thing that we must be made aware of with Jupiter in Gemini is shiny thing. All right, so if we want to focus and write and publish and do all those communication things, we need to understand that ADHD might be off its charts right now because there's just this huge planet in our head. All right. So we've got that passion, we've got the sun focusing on our thoughts, we've got Venus in there making us love our thoughts, and now Jupiter is just expanding our awareness considerably. All right. So Sunday, get prepared for a complete change of narrative. All right, Jupiter has moved into Gemini, which bring great expansion of the mind and the way we communicate. There are adjustments that will need to be made over the coming week, but I'm sure you will make them with confidence and determination. While you're making plans to build an empire, ensure that your health and well-being is your number one priority. Honor yourself, and the universe will honor you in return. Now, the well-being thing I was just talking about is that Mars conjunct Hygeia. All right, so we are looking at alternative health practices. We're looking at different ways we can move towards ourselves being better. All right, and again, it comes from us knowing that that's what we need to do. Now, another one for today, being Sunday, is the fact that the moon in Capricorn is being ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is not talking to anyone. All right. So this is us doing it all on our own. All right. We've been doing a lot of lessons and excavating those subconscious beliefs that hold us back in the last couple of months. So this is going to be a trial or a test for you to implement the strategies. All right. Very, very Mercury in Taurus, Sun in Gemini. Implement strategies around getting the work done. All right. So how's that for a week coming up? Oh my God, guys, so much change. So I'm also offering a $99 Jupiter and Gemini special. Well, it's not a special, it's just what I do. It's half an hour where we can have a look at where Jupiter in Gemini is in your chart and see how you can utilize this next year of energy and give you some focus and clarity on what is the best thing for you to be working towards so that you're not just wasting your energy. All right. So, as always, come and join me at Lifetime to Level Up on Facebook in the mornings where you can interact with me live. I often pull cards, I talk with my people, but I mean, I fully appreciate you being here on YouTube as well. So if you would subscribe, like, share, I can't think of the other one. But anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you are watching me.